Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show. You may have seen her in Morocco, New York City, Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Nevada. One of the background singers for Mickey Howard and the late, great Gerald Levert. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, the beautiful, the wonderful, the spectacular, Miss Coco McMillan.
Good evening, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show, where we make it happen. I am so excited to be with you today. Thank you so much for joining in, for watching. This is an amazing talk show that we bring on our national and our recording artists. We also promote our business owners, our social network organizations, physical and mental health awareness. We have designed this platform just for you. The show allows the opportunity to give our guests to talk about their career, to talk about their goals, their products, their challenges, new opportunities, and awareness. So we have set this up just for you to come on the show and talk about what you're doing. Listen, we believe in bringing your expertise to the show and sharing your journey because you know what? I say this every week. Millions of souls, millions of people can be blessed just by your testimony, just by what you're doing. They could be inspired, encouraged. So we want you to be a part of the show. If you're interested, you want to be a part of the show, hit me up. You can hit me up at my email address at Coco McMillan music at gmail.com, or you can reach me on any of the social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that good stuff. You can find me or ask somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody will know me. Okay, so check it out. You want to be a part of the show, please let us know and we will make that happen just for you. We are now live on the IBM network. We're here live on Facebook, YouTube, Roku. If you're sitting in your home, you can go to your Roku TV and download Pod TV Live. It's free, okay? It's free. Download Pod TV Live. You can watch it there on your TV in your home. You can also go to www.podtv.tv and watch the show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you tonight. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and text someone, Instagram them, ping them, however the young folks say, whatever you got to do. Let them know that you're about to spend the next hour with Miss Coco McMillan, and this show is going to be W. Terrell, and I hope I said that right. I'm always with my kids, my young folks and all that. And they try to keep me with the young lingo because I'm always saying this show is going to be the bomb. Coco they don't say that anymore. So this show is going to be W tonight, all right? So make sure you go ahead and let someone know that you're going to be watching the show. We have an amazing guest that's lined up tonight. I'm so grateful that she's taken this time to be with us. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. So we're going to do the roll call tonight. If you're here watching, let me know where you're watching from, what you're doing, all that good stuff. Put in your city. I see a lot of people that's out there, so don't be bashful. Come on in and let me know where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out tonight, all right? Listen, I just want to say that I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this show. Thanks to Mark Lee, to Wayne Booker. Also, please keep him in prayer. He's a little under the weather tonight, but he has done some amazing work for the show by bringing on some of our artists, our guests. So a shout out to Wayne Booker. Also to Kimberly Thompson, Eric Kelly, the IBM Network. They're doing such an amazing job with the show. So thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for the viewers, the one faithfully that watch every week. God is doing some amazing things. I am personally grateful to be here tonight, been under the weather, all that, just been, sick. But listen, when you serve a God like I serve, he can do some amazing things. He will heal, set free, and deliver. So I am just thankful for that. I want to send my condolence this evening to a good friend of mine. He was my coach. He was my mentor. He was my boss, during work study and also as an employee at Shaw University. It's sad to say that we have lost Dr. Al Carter. When I got the news this morning, my heart was broken. Very amazing man. He lived and breathed Shaw University, okay, in the Shaw University athletics field. He was one of the ones that recommended me for the Hall of Fame, all that good stuff. But unfortunately, we lost him on last night. So my heart goes out to him, his family, Melinda Carter, his wife. If you're watching, I love you, my sister, and I'm here for you. So we want you to be encouraged. Also to Michelle Cook. Franklinton, North Carolina. One of the members of our church, Missioners Grove Baptist Church, she lost her mom, and we just say our condolences to you too as well, Michelle and Keisha, Deacon Cook, the whole entire family. We are praying for you because we know that it's a tough time for you, and even in the weeks and months to come, we're definitely still going to be praying for you because that's when it really, really gets tough. So my heart goes out to both of those families tonight. So please, if you can, please keep them in prayer with me. Okay. Can you do that for me? If you could do that, just put it in the chat, thumbs up. I appreciate that. So yes, so many things has been going on this week. Last week, we had some amazing guests on the show from Maurice to Terrellyn. Thank you, Robin. Robin is in the house. Love you too, sweetheart. I think she's still in Maryland. Robin, I don't know if you're in Maryland anymore, but go ahead and put in the chat where you're watching from. Kamar, thank you, Kamar, for watching. Muhammad, Naveed, thank you so much. Monica Lisa Stevens, my girl from Atlanta, Georgia, one of the best singers I know. If you haven't heard it, you better hear her. One of the amazing artists. I think she was at the Stella Awards a couple of weeks ago too, but that's my girl. Monica, thank you so much for watching. Tia Stewart, my girl Tia, Columbus, Ohio. If you watched the video earlier, that was in front. That includes myself, Tia, Stacy, and Sharina Wynn. We were the background singers for the late Gerald Levert. We had an opportunity to do a dedication to him, as well as that song, Love Like This. So make sure you guys check it out. Robin is in Virginia, West Virginia. All right, West Virginia. Monica, I love you too, man. That is Atlanta, Georgia. I want to say happy birthday to Melissa Way in the water. She just celebrated her birthday a couple of days ago. That's my girl, my sister. So shout out to her. Teresa Man Crudup, thank you so much. My friend, my mentor, my mom there. She's out in Franklin as well. Jean Johnson, Irvington, New Jersey. Christine Caldwell, Brooklyn, New York. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. But listen, I don't want to hold up because this precious, amazing jewel took the time out to speak to me today because this is what she does every day. Okay, so I don't want to, waste any time. I want to go ahead and get to her. So you can continue to put in the chat where you watch it from, all that good stuff. We'll try to give a shout out to you. But I want to introduce my guest for tonight, Miss Karen Clark. All right, she is the midday on-air personality for at Foxy 107, 104, and she can be heard on the weekdays from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. She is a Durham native and a graduate of the School of Journalism in UNC Chapel Hill. Previously, she worked in the recording industry where she promoted different artists on Columbia Records, Capitol Records. Her artists that she worked with was like Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Will Smith, Destiny's Child. And after years in the music industry, Karen and her mother started Something Borrowed, Something Blue, a nationally recognized wedding and event planning company based in Raleigh, North Carolina. Her events was on the Scene Style Network. It was on different shows. Whose Wedding Is It Anyway? And Married Away. She's been featured in numerous of magazines and in-style weddings, The Knot, and various local news programs and publications. She's recently been married. We're going to talk about that a little later, September. She got married in September, so I'm so excited for her. She focused on ensuring that our Black listeners in the Triangle and Eastern North Carolina get the most permanent information that affects our communities. And I love that about that. She's a mother of 4. She's a board member of the Women's Center in Raleigh. She just does so much. And she's also a parent contributor for the ABC 11. So I'm just so excited to talk to her because we were backstage talking and we were just talking about any and everything, cracking up. So I can't wait for you to meet her and listen to the interview because she has so much to tell you. But listen, before we bring her on, I want you to check out this quick video because the other thing you don't know, the girl can cook. Check this out.
We're all social distancing. Me and Pumpkin are in the house, and I thought this is the day and the time to clean out the freezers. I've been saying I was going to do it, and then I'm like, I'll do it next weekend, and then I'm like, no, I mean next weekend. And now that we might be home for a number of days, I have no excuses left. So I got to clean all of my freezers out, all 3 of them. Thanks, coronavirus. Well, we're supposed to be social distancing. I have nothing else to do other than watch more Netflix than deal with my freezer, which I don't want to do, but I really have no excuse now. It's gotten out of control. So let's fix it. What's going to help me is these containers that I got from Dollar Tree. I moved a year ago and had full intentions of reorganizing my freezer with these. You see where they're sitting, right? They're on top of the freezer, not in the freezer. Also, I have another freezer here. My parents had this in their garage. It's a refrigerator and freezer, and I have nothing in here. I have bread and ice packs. So I gotta better utilize this space too. I guess if I'm cleaning out freezers, I gotta do the one in the kitchen too. So we'll put a pin in this one and finish the other one and then figure this out, because wow. So I'm making some good progress. I've cleared a lot of stuff out. I have one trash bag over here with freezer burned items, and then I've got, containers where I'm trying to categorize stuff. This looks so much better. So what I did was I just left all the processed food on the door, AKA things that my child eats. And on this part of the freezer, I put everything into little bins, categories. So, up here we've got pumpkin sausage that he likes to eat every morning, his breakfast sausage. Mommy salmon, which he hates. Containers of chicken. This is all stuff that I've gotten at BJ's. Family packs of pork chops that I've broken down into smaller bags. Same thing with family packs of chicken here. This is where I've got more chicken from BJ's that I've broken down. And then down here we had ground chickens, ground meats. My child loves tilapia. Don't judge me. It's the only fish he'll eat, so I give it to him. I know it's trash fish. I know this, but he loves it. And then down here I've got like bread, and this actually I never bought. I ordered groceries online and this ended up coming home with me accidentally. I don't typically buy stuff like this, but maybe one day we'll try it. But anyway, it looks so much better than the way it did before. And in this freezer, instead of it just being empty with like rolls, I decided to keep all of my frozen veggies here and the rolls. The rolls are still here, rolls and biscuits, because my child loves bread. But everything else is like frozen carrots, green beans, peas and carrots, things that he loves. And then all of my ice packs that I use for keeping things cold are here on the door. Looks a lot better, don't you think? And things look way better in my kitchen freezer. So over here, I've got primarily frozen fruits that I use for smoothies. Blueberries, pineapples, strawberries, raspberries, some ginger that I keep frozen in here. Over here, potatoes, tater tots, and fries. My frozen onions that I use so I don't always have to cut onions up. And then down here, just frozen seafood stuff, scallops and calamari and mussels. And that's it. Looks a lot better. I can actually find things. I like being at home. I mean, I don't like being at home for this reason, but I like getting things done.
Surprise!
That is so funny, because when that was happening, I was like, oh, we're probably going to be at home for a couple of days.
What about 2 years?
I know. But look, I got my whole house together in that period of time. I got everything organized and situated. So
I'm telling you, it helped me. It helped me tremendously. I was like, because I looked at I was like, oh my God. So when I saw your video, I didn't even know that you can freeze ginger, first of all.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because when you buy ginger, it comes in those knobs that are that big, and you usually only need that amount of it. And you can actually
Right.
grate it when it's still frozen, and use it like that. So
See, that's what I see. I knew it. I knew it. Oh my God. So welcome to the show, Karen.
thank you for having me. Thank you. I feel like
You
a
are
fish out of water because I'm like, oh, it's Karen Clark with singers, but I'm not a singer. But everybody thinks I am because they always think I'm that Karen Clark, and I'm not. I'm this Karen Clark.
right.
Confusing.
But it's the distinctive name, like Kent Clark, like Superman. So the Karen Clark is such a distinctive name. I love it. And you know what? But even though you say you're not in the singing, but you've worked with so many amazing artists, you in the music industry, working with Capitol Records, Columbia, all these things, just reading the bio. I mean, and I know we were talking backstage, earlier about
Mhm.
how you went to the concert, because first of all, if you guys haven't checked out the clip on her page about the Beyonce tips, you need to check it out, what you need to take to the show. But you were in you were in Louisville a couple of weeks ago at the Beyonce show. How was it? I mean, tell us about it.
It was it was amazing, actually, and I keep telling people, I'll tell it to everybody that will listen. Like, I know everybody don't like every artist, right? Everybody is
Right.
not for everybody. But I feel like this show that she is doing, we not getting shows like this anymore. Like, there's no Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
We have Beyonce, and nobody's really doing it like her because ain't nobody got the budget to do it like her. So the
Right.
things that she's doing, like, you are not going to just, I'm very excited about seeing Tony when they come to town in October. But what Tony is going to give us ain't that. It's a whole
Right.
different level. It's a whole different level. And so just everything that is being put into this show is extraordinary. If you can
Yeah.
see it, you really should, because nobody's doing it like this. It was amazing.
And I know it's, for you to sit back and watch the show and knowing that you worked with Destiny's Child in the past. I mean, how was it just looking at her, how she has evolved? And, we were talking about backstage about how when, you took them to tell us about that conversation about how you took
Oh
them to
gosh.
the soul food restaurant in Charlotte.
Yes. So I had the girls on the road when they were young. They were teenagers. They were like 15, 16, 17. And being on the road a lot, you eat a lot of fast food. It gets real
Yeah.
old real quick. So the first time I had them on the road, they were in Charlotte, and I took them to a soul food cafeteria. It's not around anymore. It was McDonald's cafeteria on Beatty's
Mhm.
Road in Durham. I mean, in Charlotte. And these girls were so happy to not be eating McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever.
Right.
But it was a soul food cafeteria. So when they saw oxtails on the line, they got so excited. They were dancing. They had oxtails and rice and gravy and cabbage. And
Oh my
it was
God.
like getting a really good meal on the road. They were very excited about that. They were so nice. They were like, we have to pray for you. You're so nice to us. I was like, okay, I'm never gonna turn down prayers. But they were,
Right.
really great working with them. They were grounded. They were surrounded by family. And seeing the level of success
Yeah.
is so like, I can't even describe it. Also considering that, like, of the four girls back then, Beyonce was the quiet one, the shy one.
Hmm.
Do they know our record in this city? I'm like, yeah. Do you think anybody will recognize us? And I'm like, of course,
Oh.
no, they will. And I remember Beyonce was like, nobody will recognize me. And I'm just
Oh
like,
my
little girl,
God.
if you the lead singer, what do you mean? Of course they're going to recognize you. But she was just kind of that, like,
Yeah.
I hope they like me type. And so to see the level of success, it does my heart proud.
Oh my God. I know, if you can look back, years and, I wish she could see that, or what she said back then and look at her now, just on that level, one of the top artists ever.
Ever,
You know,
and that's on that same trip too. She also was I had them in a limo, and we had gone to, after eating, they wanted to go to Willie's Records, Tapes and CDs, back when record stores existed, and they were
right?
buying music, and they came and got in the car, and the radio was on, and there was a Jay-Z song on, and she was like, "Oh my God, he is so fun. I love him so much."
Oh
And I
my
remember thinking, real fun? That's the word we use. Okay, all right, okay. So she was like, I mean, she was like 16. She's like, "Oh,
God.
I love him
Wow.
so much. He is so fine." And
And
who
there we
knew?
go. Right. Who knew? Oh my God, that's an amazing story. Hi guys out there watching. Tracy Senior, Tracy Junior, all you, Natasha, Brooklyn, New York, all you guys in the house. Thank you so much for watching. So Karen, well, let me ask you this, because you also worked with Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
How was it
Mm-hmm.
working with Will, during that time as well?
It was so I realized, I remember the first time I met Will, I was like, "Oh, I get it. You're not an actor. You're just being yourself." Because the silliness that we got from the Fresh Prince was the
That was you.
same. That, I mean, that was how he was. He was literally the Fresh Prince, like just cracking jokes and being silly, like. And
Yeah.
he had, and when I worked with him that first time, he had a son with him, and that was Jaden. And I was just like, wow, this guy is really funny and nice. And you always think when you meet the really big
Hmm.
artists and stars, it's kind of
Yeah.
intimidating, because you don't know, like, am I supposed to look him in the eye, or do I look dead? What do I do? And it's really, in my experience, it's the big stars are the ones that are the most normal.
Yeah.
And so he was just really normal. Sometimes the people around them might be psychotic, but a lot of times it's the big ones that are super normal.
I love that. It is so amazing that you had a chance to work, in the music industry with such amazing artists. And then you go, well, you've done so much. I mean, you've done radio, music,
Mhm.
you cooking. But I want to know, how did you get started in the radio business? Like, what made
So
you want to get into radio?
I wanted to be in radio when I was in high school.
Okay.
I was obsessed with listening to the radio. I grew up in Durham. So I listened to K97.5 all the time. As a matter of fact, I listened to all the radio stations because I was obsessed with the DJs more
Mm,
so than with the music. So, back then, when I'm growing up in the 80s and 90s, people would record music, right,
right.
on their cassette tapes. I wasn't recording music. I was recording the DJs talking. So I had tapes and tapes and tapes of people
Wow.
talking on the radio. That's what I would record. And so I wanted to do that when I was in high school. And I started doing the morning announcements at my high school. Shout out to Jordan High School in Durham. And and yeah, so I started doing that, and I went to our assistant principal and I was like, "You should let me do the morning announcements, because I want to be in radio when I grow up. And when you do it, nobody listens to you. So you should let me do it." And he was like, he was like, "All right, then." And it worked out. And then I decided, maybe I don't want to do just radio. Maybe I want to do TV, and I want to, like, maybe do the news. And so I went to Carolina, majored in journalism with a concentration in broadcast. And
Mhm.
I started working in radio when I was in college. I was doing the Quiet Storm my senior year of college. So I was
Wow.
like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. I was on the radio playing Luther and Anita Baker, and then I would go to class during the day.
Yeah.
And I went through some things in radio that were not fun, and I just was like, I would call my mom every day and be like, "They're mean to me. People are mean to me."
Oh.
And yes, and I was like, I'm gonna go into TV so I can get away. And one of the anchors from back in the day at ABC 11 was like, "If you don't like radio, stay away from TV because it's even worse." And I was like, "Oh
It's even
Lord."
worse.
Yeah. And so I stayed in radio for a while until I decided to transition over to working in the music business.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
eventually I came back.
here I am.
Right, right. So when you were in USC, is that where you met Melissa, or was it Melissa Wade, or during radio?
Yeah,
Shout
no,
out to
I
Melissa
didn't
Wade.
know Melissa at Carolina, Melissa Wade in the water. I did not meet her. So I started off in radio in Raleigh at G105. And
Okay.
then I transitioned over to K97.5. And that's where I met Melissa. And I think, I can't remember. I started out as a part-timer working on the weekends. And when I met her, I think she was doing the morning show with Cy Young. And
Yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
oh, you went to Carolina? I went to Carolina. And I was like, another Carolina girl. So that was our connection. But we were both from Durham. We both went to Carolina, so we have very similar stories.
Wow, that's amazing. One thing you pointed out was about the challenges. And there may be someone, JP, how you doing? Tasha, everybody, you guys, thank you for joining. You mentioned about the challenges in radio and in TV. Um, would you share some of the things, some of the challenges that you went through? Maybe because I know back then, they talk about, the male dominant, the males were kind of dominating the DJs. They had their own personalities. What were some of your challenges that you faced during that time?
So I was very lucky in that when I worked as a part timer at K97, I had a lot of success early on, and I got promoted into different situations. So like I said, I was doing the Quiet Storm when I was in college. I was the first woman Quiet Storm person on that station,
Yes.
and that was really cool for me. And I didn't really talk about it a lot at school, but it was like, oh, when you guys are doing whatever you're doing, I'm the background to it. And
Right,
so
right.
I did that. And then when I graduated, they promoted me and said, we're going to put you on afternoons. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do afternoons. That sounds scary. And that sounds like that's a very important job in radio, because it's like morning drive and afternoon drive were like the two biggest times to be on the air. And I was like, I don't know that I've been doing this long enough. I was very nervous. I was very scared. And my mom and my grandma would like give me words of encouragement. And,
Yeah.
I was doing it. I was having a really good time. But in the building, there were like people who were not happy because they were like, why is the 22-year-old from college
Yeah, that
getting,
part.
and I've been here for X number of years, and why is she getting from and I'm not getting, and it caused like moments of just discomfort for me. And I was
Yeah.
under the guise that I thought in high school that when you grew up, all of the he said, she said, they did, I heard all of
Right,
that. I thought it immediately went away because people were grown-ups and this is high school
right,
stuff. And oh, I can't wait to
right.
grow up. And it's just going to be so, it's not no different. It's just that everybody's taller and they make more money, but it's
That's right.
exactly the same. And so I would call my mom every day and I would just be like, people are being mean to me and they're saying that I shouldn't have this job, and nobody will eat lunch with me. And my mom, like I never got empathy. It was never empathy. She was like, they talked about Jesus. What makes you think they're not going to
Right,
talk about,
right.
and okay, thanks. That was what I was looking for. All right. And,
Right.
she would just say, God didn't put you in this position unless you deserve to be there and unless it was an
Exactly.
opportunity for you to learn and grow. And so
Yeah.
I just kind of had to push through it. And I worked there for a while and I learned a lot. And then the record reps would come to the radio station all the time, pushing records, and I got to know them, and one of them got promoted. And I was like, hey, you
Hmm.
think they'd let me apply for your job? And he was like, try it. Yeah. And I did, and I got it. And then I started working at Columbia Records when I was 22, and it
Wow.
went from there. Yeah.
That's amazing. You have such an amazing, story working in different fields. And I know we talked about the challenges, but what are some of your
Mm.
what are some of the best things that happen in radio and television that you can talk about? Because I know you met everybody. You've done everything, been
Everybody.
everywhere. But what are some of the best things about radio?
So I mean, I'll always be thankful for that beginning period in radio that got me working in the record business, working at Columbia Records, working at
Yeah.
Capitol Records, working with all of the artists and affording me the opportunity to travel and, stay in some of the best hotels and eat in some of the best restaurants and go to
Yeah.
the award shows and be at, private industry parties with these huge artists. And those are memories that I will always treasure. But then it
Yeah.
also like afforded me the opportunity to start my wedding planning business with my mom because
Yes.
I was able to, show like, oh, well, of course you want me to plan your wedding because these are the people I've worked with.
Right.
Here's a picture of me and Will Smith, and here's me and Beyonce, and here's me and Mariah Carey, and and again, it kind of opened the doors for me. But it was also that too was a learning experience because my mom was was an event planner for the Environmental Protection Agency, and she planned
Okay.
conferences, meetings all over the country, and was just like the most organized together person. So it afforded me an opportunity to be able to work with her and learn from her. But that too was even challenging. We were based here in the Triangle, and
Yes.
it was a very segregated industry.
I'm
It
sure.
was, the Black vendors worked with the Black couples
Yeah.
and the white vendors worked with the white couples,
Yeah.
and we don't cross. And people wouldn't, I like always had these big dreams of, okay, I'm doing weddings now. Well, let's make it big. All right, let me use my journalism degree to
Yeah.
promote this business and get us placed in magazines, and let's do big stuff. And then, the Style Network came calling, and because of some of the things that we had done. But
Yeah.
working in this market, there were vendors that like weren't checking for us, that weren't interested in what we were doing until we got on a national stage, until we got a national platform. And then the segregation became, they wanted to integrate with us. Then it was like, oh, well, you can expose me to your national
Mm-hmm.
audience, so I guess now we'll work with you, little Black girl. Which then of course rubbed me the wrong way because I was
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
good. Mm-mm. I'm good. But it just taught me a lot. Again, I always had that mentality that life was going to be so different when I was a grown up.
Right.
And, I was still going through those challenges of like being taken seriously as a wedding planner. It was like, oh, there were all these vendors here that are so amazing in our area that didn't want to acknowledge me or talk to me until we were on national TV, until we were in
Wow.
national magazines. And then they just wanted to be my best buddy. They wanted to
Of
work with me all
course.
the time. And I was like, absolutely not,
Not.
not as long as I am Black will that happen. And so, but then it gave me an opportunity to
Yeah.
bring other Black vendors along with me and do great things because I had a platform to do that, So I was like,
Yes.
y'all want to be segregated? We're going to be segregated all the way then. And, everybody else can get the shine.
That's right. Because that's what it's all about. Each one teach one. And, we
Yeah.
help each other get to that level. And I say all the time, it's about working together. We supporting each
Mhm.
other, because if
Mhm.
we have the platform to make it happen, let's make it happen. Because what God has for you, it's for you.
It's
Nobody
true.
can take that
Right.
away.
Yeah.
And
So
I
those were
love
all
that you
great
talk
learning
about that.
experiences. Yeah, great learning
Exactly.
experiences. At the time, I would just be down about things, but now that I'm old and wise, I can look back on all of those things and be like, I'm really glad that that turned out the way it did. I'm really
Yeah.
glad that that worked the way it worked. Everything turns out the way it's meant to be. And then when I was done with wedding planning, and the record industry, which was a whole different thing because before people were talking about self-care, I had to learn self-care for myself, being on the
Yeah.
road with artists, just being a record rep. And for people that don't know, the job of a record rep what that time was to go to the radio stations and get them to play the records and
Mhm.
promote the artists. And then once they're playing the record, get them to play it more, and then get them to play it more as we work the records up the charts. And that was
Right.
our job. But we were also on the road constantly, taking artists to concerts and shows and market tours and in stores and signings and things like that. And it became really, really stressful. I was exhausted all the
Yes.
time, never got enough sleep, and I would be
Yeah.
responsible until you get to the big artist level. You're in a van with a record rep being driven around, and I
Right.
was the person driving. I'm the person that's getting us into Augusta, Georgia at 1 in the morning and making
Yeah.
sure everybody gets up at 5:30 to do radio at 6:30. And so
Woo!
I'm doing that. It was a lot and it was exhausting, and I
Yeah.
started having panic attacks in my sleep, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Oh
And
my God.
I had a doctor that was like, you might want to step away from this job for 6 weeks and just relax. And so I did. And then I went back to him after 6 weeks, and I was still stressed and having panic attacks in my sleep from my job, dreaming about my job every
Mhm.
night. And then he was like, and he wrote on a prescription pad, 2 more weeks, no contact with work. And after that 2 more weeks, I walked away from the music business and was like, I need to do something else, because you're not supposed to be having panic attacks in your sleep. You're not
Right.
supposed to be having dreams about work every night.
Right.
So
Right.
that was a lesson in self-care when I was like 27.
Wow, this is good, Karen. The comments are going crazy here. David Hill, Cass Clarice, thank you so much. I mean, they have so many questions. I mean, because I'm listening to your story, self care is so important. I say in any field, like you say, if you're losing sleep, you're having panic attacks, all this stuff is going on. We got to take a break. We have to walk away from it, because there are
Mhm.
people that it's happened to in their lives, and they're not here today because of the stress level. And I say it as an artist, so I can understand, definitely understand, as being a radio rep and all, working with the artists. But I want to go back to something we talked about. I want to flip back to the wedding for just a second,
Okay.
because you worked in your weddings, you worked with your mom, you had that, but you just recently was married to attorney Dan Blue in September. How was the wedding? Did you plan your own wedding? How was it? Tell us
Everybody
about
always
it.
asks that. You were a wedding planner for a billion years. Did you plan your own wedding? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, I hired Alana Walker, who's here in the Triangle of Alana Walker Events, and we, I had planned all these weddings and done all this stuff, and I was the girl that never thought about what my wedding would look like or anything. I didn't obsess. I didn't look at magazines or anything. And when we got engaged, I was like, I just want a really, really nice dinner party. We both love food, and we decided to do it in Orlando because we were blending families. He
Okay.
had two children of his own. I had one child of my own, and we wanted to make it about the kids, not about us, because we were like, we're old. Let's focus on the children
The
and bringing
children.
them into this blended family together. So we
Yeah.
decided to go to Orlando to get married so that we could take the kids to Disney World. And we invited 35 people. I had the upscale dinner party of my life. We did it at the Ritz Carlton Orlando, and I had all the food that I wanted to have and all of the drinks, all of the because when you only have 35 people at your wedding, you can do all the
You can do
things,
all
right?
that. Right.
If
Right.
you have 350 people, everybody's getting a chicken wing and some strawberries and some cheese. So, we
Right.
we did all of that, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It was Alana executed my vision perfectly, and it was great to just be able to lay in bed at night and think up ideas, and then text her, email her, and go, Alana, I want this. I want to get married on a stage. Let's do that in a garden. Can you make that happen? And I didn't have the stress of like hunting down everything and making sure it all came together. So yeah, no, I did not plan my own wedding. I just had lots and lots of ideas.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. And when we talk about food, when we talk about food, as I said earlier at the beginning of the show, you can cook. I've watched the videos. I said you have to invite me over to one of your barbecues. The ribeye chimichurri. Oh my God, it's
The
amazing.
chimichurri.
Yes, you've been doing a lot, so you just come up with ideas and think, okay, I want to make the potato salad today, and you post it of what you're doing. And I didn't. I do have a quick video. I hope Mark have it together that can show you. I think of the juices that you were doing. I didn't want to post the one about the ribeye because I know you said your husband is very protective, very about he don't want nobody to know that recipe. He said it was so
like, nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know how well you cook. I'm like, baby, they're not coming to get your food. He's like, we got to keep it a secret. And then I post it on Instagram or YouTube.
right. Then you posted it. But so you love to cook. I think you were with maybe your cousin talking about the juice, a weight loss juice that you guys made. Tell us about some of the ideas that you come up when you're thinking, okay, I want to make this today.
So I am grocery shopping is very hard for me because in theory, you should plan what you're going to make for the week and then shop based on that. I literally will be at work at 3:00 going, I think I have a taste for this. And then I'll go to the store and buy it. Like I buy stuff each day because every day I have like a different idea of what I want to cook. So I just I make it up as I go. But with the juicing, I decided I wanted to start juicing because my cousin who's on there, he is 60 years old. He looks fabulous. I was telling him, I was like, your skin is just so nice. And he is a big proponent of organic. And he juices everything. If he has a cough, he's not taking nobody's medicine. He always says, not in this temple. You need to chop up some garlic and some honey and take a couple of spoonfuls of that. So he's really into the healthy lifestyle. And he's always, he preaches it. And so I was like, hey, I think I want to start juicing. Let me call the juice expert to come over. And that was how all of that came together.
Oh my God. It was, and it really looked delicious too. Refreshing, all that good stuff. Yeah. It was good.
I wanted to start. So we filmed several different juicing recipes because he's got all these different juice ideas. I mean, he can make it. He can put together refreshing things. But like I said in that video, when he's at home juicing, he just whatever he has. He's taking his algae and his broccoli and his garlic and his beets and his carrots and just shoving it all in there. And I'm like, I need something that's going to be a little bit more palatable. So can we do like some watermelon or something? Like I'm not ready to do beets and collard greens yet. I'm not there.
Oh wow! But so you do the juicing, it's the ribeye, it's the potato salad. Anything else that you love to cook?
I love to cook everything and I love to try new things. So I think like today I posted a video on Instagram where I had last night for dinner, Dan was like, how about we make tacos? And so I was like, okay, you know what? I want to make a better tasting salsa. So I roasted all of the salsa ingredients, the tomatoes, the onions, the garlic, the peppers, roasted it and then blended it together and chopped up some fresh herbs and put all of that together. And I'd never done it before. I was just like, hey, let's try this and see if it works. And it did. Wow. It was best salsa.
The best ever. Well, we're gonna play a quick little clip of this juice video. Check this out, guys.
I wanted to learn how to juice, so I had to call upon a juicing expert.
So I'm here with my cousin Elijah today. I'm sorry, my 60-year-old cousin Elijah. And he looks like this at 60 because he juices everything all the time. Like if he came over to your house, he might grab some grass and put it in his pocket and take it home and juice it. But it's that serious for him. Yummy. But that's why I always say, like, it looks like you've had Botox, but I know you don't, not in this temple.
Not in this temple.
Right. You don't believe in chemicals and things like this. Just lots of organic fruits and vegetables, and you put them in the juicer and you drink them. And that's why he looks like this at 60. So he's going to teach me what combination of stuff to put together so that we can have delicious, healthy juices that my son will drink. That's hilarious. Okay, let's get started.
So this is a weight loss juice. We start with romaine lettuce. There are 2 stalks of celery in it. We used a whole personal size seedless watermelon. And then obviously this is us cutting it up. So I made a mistake. He didn't stop me. I'm used to chopping things up for salads. So I chopped up the lettuce and we had to like stuff it in there. There's also a bunch of cilantro in here, but this is us stuffing all of the chopped up lettuce. I should have left it as spears. And then we stirred it up and he's pouring it. And it looks so good.
Yummy.
Wow, that's really good. That's
It is
really
It
good.
is good. Really refreshing.
Somebody's gonna make this and they're gonna be like, just a little vodka would make it so much better. That defeats the purpose, right? Sorry, don't do that.
It sure does.
I love that. I love that. But it was what took me out was his face when he says, yummy. That was
Listen, I'm telling you, he's not the person that puts together that many fruits together. So he probably did think it was yummy. I promise you, he is at the house drinking pea milk and eat juice and sprouts and garlic and collard greens and mustard greens and beets. And so this was probably the most delicious thing he juiced in weeks.
Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. Please continue to post those videos for us. We're gonna try that. Like I told my sister, I said, we're gonna try that. She said, let's do it. We're gonna try that. But also, Karen, you on the board of the Women's Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. You want to talk a little bit about how it is working with the Women's Center?
Yeah, it's amazing. So shout out to my friend Maria Ewing. She brought me on board. I met Maria years ago working at K97 when she was our promotions director that helped put together the very first women's empowerment. And she brought me on the board. The thing about the Women's Center, which is based here in Raleigh, we just got a new location on New Bern Avenue. It helps unhoused women, 70% of whom look like you and me. And when I learned about what the center was doing and how they've got programs for the women, they give them a place to go take showers and do their laundry. They do 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch. I was like, yes, sign me up. And, we can use my platform of the station so that more people in the Triangle are aware that the Women's Center exists and we can help even more women. So I'm excited to be a part of this new chapter and excited to do what I can to help. As a matter of fact, just last week, I was looking at a video I had done of the center and I was like, we have all these women here that look like us, but none of the hair care products for our hair. So my new obsession is getting, Black hair care products in there so that when you do come in to take a shower, you've got everything that you need to look good from head to toe and to feel good, because that's a big part of the journey that these women are on.
Yes, and for those that's out there, listen, if you want to donate, please make sure that you reach out to Karen to help donate, because this is a very great cause, to help our women of what they need. But I want you guys to check out this video real quick. Check this out.
Hey, it's Karen Clark, and I am a board member at the Women's Center. What is it? Well, I'm so glad you asked. We provide a lot of services for women in the area. This is our new location on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. I'll take you inside for a tour. This is from our ribbon cutting. Our lobby is absolutely gorgeous. Love all the artwork. This is our cafeteria area. Breakfast and lunch are provided by the community every day. This is our new executive director. You and your group or organization can come and provide meals to the women here, ready to serve meals. Eventually, we'll have overnight services. This will house security so that everyone is safe, which is so important. Right now, the women can come in and reserve space for an extended nap period. All of the bathrooms in the Women's Center are full of feminine hygiene products. No one has to ask. They can help themselves to whatever they need. This is the area where we have shower gel and lotion and shampoo and conditioner, all the things you need to feel clean. And the women can come in and do their laundry here. They can also take showers. Thank you to A Lot of Love for the love that they showed this shower area and our whole downstairs area. They made it super cute, super inviting. It's just super comfortable. This is our spa store. Women can earn Starbucks and buy the things that they want, like hair dye, nail polish, makeup. And I just wanted to point out all the great art that we have here in the center because everybody needs to be surrounded by beautiful things. We have beautiful things in our homes. The women should have them here at the Women's Center. Your group or organization can donate your time, energy, meals to help out these women. We have this freezer. If there's no one that's donated any meals, we come to this freezer and provide things. It's empty now, so we need you. Donate your time, please, 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 to the Women's Center in Raleigh. This is our board, and we already thank you in advance.
I love that, Karen. Wow, you so amazing. You're doing so much. How is your work-life balance? How do you balance your work and your family? You married, you have beautiful kids. That's, by the way, we're going to talk about in just a second, especially, your star, the star. But how do you balance everything, Karen?
Um, I think it is a work in progress. I mean, we haven't even been married a year. It'll be a year in September. So it's still like trying to figure out how to balance it all. I will say that I have a great husband. He is wonderful. He'll call me and say, "What were you thinking about for dinner tonight?" And I'll be like, "I don't know," because I haven't gotten my late day inspiration yet. And he'll be like, "You know what? I'll cook," and he cooks just as well as me. So having somebody that,
Right.
can take over and cook. Or last night he did the dishes and I went upstairs and went to sleep early, and he stayed down here and he did the dishes and cleaned the kitchen and did all the things. And we got chore divisions for the kids. He's really great at making sure, hey, whose night is it to take the trash out? Y'all got to take the trash. Like, so that definitely helps, like having a great supportive partner that, watches everybody and takes care of everything when I have to go out and
Yeah,
host something. That really, really helps a lot.
that helps
So I'm
out.
very,
That's
very
good.
blessed, very happy.
Yeah, there is a question on the floor from Kes. She said, "What about the Women's Center?" She's asking, "What about women with kids?"
So our organization, so there are a ton of organizations in Raleigh that do different things. So for example, we don't do overnight accommodations at the Women's Center as of yet, but there are other organizations that do. And some of those organizations do take in women with kids. That's not what we do. But we're always expanding. Like I said, we don't take overnight accommodations yet, but the plan is to do that
Is too.
in the future. And in addition to that, one of the things that I've learned from working with the women's centers, I didn't realize that there are so many, not just women, but just people who won't go into a shelter because they don't have a place for their pet, and pets are
Right.
family.
That's
So we're
right.
going to allow women the opportunity to come in and we will shelter their pets too. So that is something that we are working towards. We're not there yet, but
Okay. Okay.
Just
amazing
really
things
quickly,
happen.
one, I was going to tell Coco that y'all can go over because there's nothing at 7 o'clock, and I'm enjoying the conversation. Y'all having an amazing conversation, and one that I'm sure the audience is enjoying as well. I did have a quick question for you, Karen, which
Mhm.
is that does the Women's Center organizers work with other groups that are doing different things? Because you just talking about there are different societies and different groups, and a dear friend of mine actually has a thrift store that addresses the autistic community that is also in Raleigh. So I was wondering if y'all ever did partnership with other organizations.
So I am new to the board, so I don't understand all of the intricacies yet, but it's my understanding that it takes a village. So there are lots of organizations that come together. So in that video, when I shouted out the organization A Lot of Love, they were the ones that came in and provided the decor for the laundry room, the spa area, the beds, the comforters. So we do work with a lot of different organizations, and we've got social workers at the center that can help people find the resources that they need. If we don't do it, we know somebody that does. So we help them find long-term housing if they need it. If you need help with Medicaid or Medicare, we direct you to that and help you go through that process. So there are a lot of different organizations that we work with in conjunction with to help these women. So
Well,
yeah.
great. I'm gonna let y'all continue the interview. As I was telling you before in the chat, I believe that my cousin Tanya, who played in the basketball at Jordan, would have been a couple of years ahead of you because she probably was. If you were the class of '92, I think she was the class of '90. But she is definitely a proud
Oh
Jordan
yeah,
graduate
I
as
probably
well.
knew her because I was a cheerleader, so I knew all of the 1990, 91 class. So yeah.
Yeah, she
Good.
played basketball
Thank
for
you,
the
Mark.
team, so you probably knew her. She was Tanya Walker at the time. She later married somebody
Oh
from Charlotte,
yes,
and
yes, yes,
Tanya
yes. I
Wiley now.
remember.
But yes, Tanya is my first cousin.
It is a small
Thank
world,
you.
isn't it?
Small
Really
world,
small,
right?
small
And you was
world.
a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader too. TT. I loved
Yeah,
it.
well, I can tell. I can tell from the bubbliness. We can spot out fellow cheerleaders.
We know it, right, right. And I know, I have. Thank you, Cass. I know that you have to go and everything, but I do want to ask one question about one of your sons. Now, you have how many kids do you have?
So
Four?
I refer to them as the people. As I always say on the air, I got to go home and figure out what I'm gonna cook for the people. So
People.
between Dan and I, we have 3 kids. They
Okay.
are ages 11, 12, and 13. And
Okay.
we are so lucky because they are all such good kids. They excel in school. They excel in their extracurriculars. We are just so blessed. We really
And
are.
one particularly in music. I saw him with the performance in, I think it was the Mermaid. Was it the Mermaid?
The Little Mermaid, yes. That video was when he was in second grade. So when
Oh
half the
my
kids
God.
there were scared to say their lines, my child was up there during rehearsals directing people and telling them they weren't on cue. And he wants to be an actor. He loves music. He loves musicals. He wants to act. He wants to sing. He wants to perform. And it's so funny. We didn't know this obviously when I had my baby shower, but my girlfriend's playing my baby shower, and the theme of it was A Star Is Born. And so there were stars everywhere, and we had like little individual star-shaped cakes with the Stars Born written on them. And now I have this little budding Broadway star who's in national competitions and is always trying to grow within his talent and is just very excited about his future.
Oh yes. And when he was holding that note on Santa Fe, I think it was Santa Fe, that note was
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, look, we all know the song Santa Fe. I'm gonna just say that he walks around singing so much that we all know the lyrics to all the songs of all the shows that he's in. But I love it. As a parent, it is always very exciting to see your kids develop a passion, especially early in life. And
Right.
and they still play video games and they still go outside and play, but to know that they have a passion, they have something that they're focused on at an
Yes.
early age, is just, it warms my heart to know that he has something that he loves. So I just want to be able to support him in it as long as I can and do what I can to encourage him and help him as much as possible, because that's what my mama did for me. You want to be in
Exactly.
radio? Let's see if we can find one of these radio people for you to talk to. She didn't know what she was doing, but she was like, let's see if we can find somebody. I don't know. And here I am.
That's amazing. Yeah, and they just look like they're so loving character. I know one was really kind of upset with you that you didn't answer that question. It took you 45 minutes. You said, well, wasn't you excited to see me on TV? He wasn't having it.
He is my drama king. Everybody's like, how did you get him into theater? I'm like, do you see him? This has to go somewhere. They can't just be for our entertainment. We got to put it on somebody's stage. So yes, every day is just is drama. Yeah, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
I do too. And that shows that, ladies, if you're out there watching, I see some of your questions. We'll try to get through them, after the show. We'll put it in the chat. But, all the ladies out there is watching, life is real. And as she said about the work-life balance, you can have your career and still have your family and still be fun and lovely. But also what is important is the self-care. And we talked about that earlier, the self-care. You can see it here. Karen is a prime example of how getting it done you can get it done. You understand? So I'm so excited about your journey, everything that you have shared with us tonight. I know that you have encouraged so many people out there. And as I said before, donate to the Women's Center. We need that support for our women. And as she said, new things are coming. So, just get ready for that as well. But Karen, any final words that you would like to say to the viewers? They're loving you out there. Any final words?
I just want to say about self-care, something that I didn't know.
Mhm.
I'm my mother's only child. My mother was an only child. My mom got Parkinson's in her 50s
Okay.
and died in 2017. And then, she was only child. So, and I had to do everything. My grandmother was living in Charlotte. She was in her 90s. And after that, grandma got sick and I moved her here and I took care of her. And, one of the things that I didn't know about self-care when I was going through all of that, just having everything on me and being the primary caregiver and then having to get on the radio and be cheerful and happy every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like self-care is a thing. And I think that as a people, we don't know, we don't grow up saying, talk to a therapist, get
There
some
we go.
help.
There we go.
I was very lucky in that when I was in my 20s and I started having panic attacks in my sleep from my job,
Yeah.
that I had a doctor that recognized this is not okay. You need
Mhm.
time away from this job. You need to go on
Yeah.
short-term disability, and you need to really think about if this is what you want to continue to do. And so looking back on all of that, because hindsight is 2020, I know that I'm not the only person that was a caregiver. There are people taking care of husbands, kids, aunties, grandmas, parents. And
Yeah.
I, at the time, did not understand how important self care was. And I didn't know how to do it for myself. I didn't know that maybe having a therapist to talk to was a great idea. So I just want to encourage people to put yourself first, kind of like they say on the plane. Put the mask on your face before you put it on anybody else. You got to put yourself.
Ooh.
I had to sit down and have a conversation with myself and say, you know what? I'm going to start getting massages every month. That is something I'm going to
Mm.
do.
Yeah.
This is something I have to do for me. I'm going to start getting massages every month. I'm going to start talking to a therapist that helps you work through things and helps you problem solve. Because I didn't have my mom to help me problem solve anymore. My mom had
Yeah.
dementia, Parkinson's. So I needed somebody to kind of grab me and guide me and tell me you're doing a good job, you're doing your best. Because that's, when you are a caregiver, there's a lot of guilt. Am I doing
Oh my
everything I could be
God.
doing? Should I be doing more? Is this what they would want me to do? It's a lot.
Yes.
So figure out a
Yes.
way to put yourself first, get the massages, get the facials, go on the walks,
Yes.
just taking 30 minutes to walk around your neighborhood. You don't have to, you can join the gyms and do all of that, but just if all you can do is get out and walk up and
Mhm.
down your street, do that. It gives you mental clarity. Talk to people, get a therapist if you can afford it, if your insurance will allow it. Just put yourself first. And that was something that nobody told me.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, it's going to be okay. Well, pray on it. Well, I did pray on it, but sometimes you need a little bit more.
Right.
So I would
Right.
say, just take care of yourself, because we're all going through something. We all have our struggles and we don't always
That's
see
right.
it. I'm
That's
I'm little
right.
Miss Happy Lady on the radio cooking, but I was going through a lot behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Nobody saw that and nobody could really help me through it other than telling me, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. So just put yourself first and take care of yourself.
Oh, I
That's
love that. Oh my God. That was so good, Carrie. Like, because a lot of times we put on this mask. Hey, how
girl.
you doing? Yeah,
It's
we're doing okay.
fine.
Right, I'm fine. And as soon as you're by yourself, that's when the tears begin to roll.
Yes.
Or, you're
Listen,
going through this, you talking to yourself. And I told someone, I said, yeah, I was talking to myself and I was answering myself as well. So
that part. That
that
part.
part. So
Yeah.
it's so important, and they didn't teach us about therapists. It's so important for
No.
you to have a therapist, like she said, if you can afford it, or just
Mhm.
talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Talk to
Yeah.
somebody. Someone. Let me say this clear. talk to somebody you can trust. Okay.
Talk to somebody you can trust. And for me, having a therapist that was a Black woman was life changing, because my first therapist wasn't, and she was great. It was just, we didn't get into it the way we needed to get into it. And having somebody that understands your culture and your family and the dynamics and what it's like, how people expect you to be a strong Black woman. We're always told we got to be a strong Black woman. And, having somebody that understood that for me was life changing. It was life changing, So I shout out to Black therapists. They're out here to help and do God's work. And, don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Just, find somebody that you can chat with. If it's something that you can afford to do, definitely do it.
Oh my, this was amazing. Listen, Karen, we have your information running at the bottom of the screen, but can you just tell the viewers how they can reach you, your times that you're on the radio? I said it earlier, but can you just kind of give them your social media info?
Absolutely. Well, you can check me out on Foxy 107, 104, Mondays through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I am on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at The Karen Clark. And, I post mostly, I think, on Instagram because there's so much craziness that happens here. I love to capture it. And I'm like, y'all got to see this. Because my son laying on the floor the other day mad because he watched the news for 45 minutes and I wasn't on long enough for him, and then he just slid into the closet and closed the door. What is this?
All I saw was his little head. All I saw was his head. And he's like 45 minutes.
45 minutes. He was mad, girl. I was like, what, you want me to call the TV station and tell? He was like, yes, I do. And then his little head slid away and the door closed. And that, this is my life.
It was funny. I love that.
Another question. And I know y'all are wrapping up and everything, but just out of curiosity, are your kids, your teenage kids, because I don't have any, but I have my two nephews that are 14 and 15, and they are enthralled by the Oculus and the internet and all of that. So I was wondering if your kids have gotten into that and how you are dealing with that.
Yeah, so we are. We have an Oculus. We've got the gaming systems. Everybody's very into YouTube. I think it's just this is just what this generation does. They when my son was much smaller, and not even much smaller, but now, I mean, he's 12 and he's like, I don't want to go to Publix with you because the Wi-Fi is bad in Publix. Like, he has identified the stores that have the good Wi-Fi and the bad Wi-Fi because he needs to be on YouTube when he's in public watching videos. Of course he does. So, that's just that this generation, it's what we fight with, They'll all be in the house together, sitting on one couch, all on their devices, showing each other videos and going back and forth. It's so funny.
No, it's interesting you say that, Karen, because one of my mom, who I know Dan knows as well, your husband and everything, Valeria Lee, but my mom, when they are going to visit her, meaning my two nephews, one will be in one room on a Oculus set, the other will be in the other room, and they will be playing two different games. Yes. So yes, that whole conversation is going on.
Or they'll be in two different rooms playing each other on the same game. I see that. And I've noticed that they were, because we have two boys, one was in his room and one was in eyesight of that room in the loft. But they're in two different rooms. I don't know. I don't. Look, is this how our parents were with Ataris and everything? Were they like, oh, what are they doing in there on that Atari? Like, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, totally.
Right. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Karen, I just have one more question. I'm going to let you go. Someone brought this up about the Mother's Day brunch, jazz brunch that you had. Yes. How was it?
It was amazing. It was an idea that I've had for a couple of years. But like I said, I was a caregiver to my mother and to my grandmother, and my grandma passed last year. So this was really the first year that I had an opportunity to sit down and execute it, again, with the help of my wedding planner, Alana Walker, of AlanaWalkerEvents.com. But I wanted to put on the brunch that my grandmother and my mother would have enjoyed going to on Mother's Day. So that was kind of my vision. So I was like, I want it to be really good food. I want the setting to be really good, which is why I did it at the Umstead Hotel and Spa. And then a friend of mine, John Brown, who is vice provost of the arts over at Duke University, helped me secure the
Okay.
jazz music. And I just wanted, and I pulled deep into my wedding planning roots and put together this incredible event. And it was so great. It was so good. It was beautiful. So happy that it turned out well, and I'm already looking forward to next year's brunch.
Yes, yes, you got to let us know because we definitely want to, to be a part of it. It's just been amazing.
Yes.
You have been phenomenal. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Karen. It's so many comments and out there. I hope you get a chance to go back and look at some of the comments, how they absolutely love you. So again, we want to say from the Coco McMillan Show, thank you for being part of the show tonight, to giving us so much information, so much wisdom, encouragement. We appreciate that. And until we meet again, I'll say it like that. Until we meet again.
Thank you for inviting me on. I appreciate it so much, and always glad to do something in our backyard. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Wayne Booker. Thank you so much, Melissa Way. All you guys, we love you guys. So thank you, Karen. We'll see you soon, okay, dear?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. So, guys, you heard it tonight. You heard it from the one and only Miss Karen Clark, radio personality for Foxy 107, 104. Oh, I love the way I said that. Foxy 107, 104. Angela Peace Court, I love you, sis. Thank you so much. It was good to see you last weekend. But guys, thank you so much for watching the show. Again, she gave all her information. It's running at the bottom of the screen. If you want to contact her, ask her any more questions, be a part of that Women's Center ministry. Bless them. Next week, we're going back to the Apollo. Terilyn Harrison. This is her third round for that. I'm so proud of her. We're going to be in New York City. So continue to pray for us. Continue to pray for to Wayne Booker, Dr. Al Carter and his family, Melinda Carter, Michelle Cook and their family. They definitely need your prayers. Cass, I love you, my sis. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone that has joined in, Dave Hill, that is Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you so much. I say this every week, and I really want you to know you have to do this. You have to trust in whatever your desire is, whatever it is that you're seeking. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not to thy own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. God is in the blessing business, and he has something in store for you. So the best is yet to come for you. I encourage you to be blessed. Know that God is real. Trust the process because he's working in your favor. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Melvin Jackson, the Mitchell's Grove family, ASAL Community Church. I love you guys. We are going to leave you tonight with one of my girls, Cynthia Jones, her new video that's out that's called Lifeline. I want you to continue to support her and all of the local artists here in North Carolina. But check out my girl, Cynthia Jones, Lifeline. We'll see you next week.
That I can walk away from you. You've been too good to me. You're the very air I breathe. Whoa, there ain't no way that I can make it on my own. I would be fooling myself. You're my present help.